Welcome back. Now, earlier we broke the news that Prince Charles has tested positive for coronavirus. We can go live now to our royal editor, Camilla Tominey. Camilla, thank you for joining us. So what do we know of this?
Well, we know that he's been displaying mild symptoms. He's actually been in a form of self-isolation anyway, because him and Camilla retreated up to Birkhall, their Scottish residence, after they finished their last engagement. So the office say that he's been working from home. He hasn't got it too seriously in the sense that his symptoms are mild. Equally, he hasn't passed it on to the Duchess, which is obviously a relief. He is 71, the Duchess is slightly older. And that essentially they're going to be following the government advice and convalescing at home and being in that self-isolation period that's recommended. So 14 days. But of course, all royal engagements have been cancelled. So there is a sense that they wouldn't have been in full circulation anyway. But equally, of course, quite shocking to hear the news that, of course, coronavirus affects us all, even future kings.
But it is surprising, though, isn't it? It's surprising that, given the fact that we have all been washing our hands, we're being incredibly careful, you would think that that the heir to the throne would perhaps have been cosseted that much more.
Well, you say that, Phil, although having said that, of course, they do meet very many people, more people than the average person. They were at the Commonwealth Day service a couple of weeks ago, which, of course, was Harry and Meghan's last royal engagement. They weren't shaking hands. And if you remember, Prince Charles was doing that namaste greeting where he was putting both hands together, you know, in the form of the kind of Indian greeting, very much in reflection of the fact that he likes yoga and all such things. But he wasn't touching anyone, but he was still having engagements and interacting with people. We're having to now look back over the last 2 to 3 weeks to see exactly who he has come into contact with. I know, for instance, that there was a member of the House of Lords who had to self-isolate after being at that Commonwealth Day service. That obviously seems a long time ago, and this contact must have been more recent. But until they effectively ended their royal duties in line with the government guidance, which was only last week, when you think about the semi-lockdown we had, it seems like these days are going on forever, but it was only last week that people were still in a degree of circulation. He may have picked it up then.
So are we worried about the Queen or the Duke of Edinburgh?
Well, not necessarily the Duke of Edinburgh, because he's been up in Sandringham at Wood Farm in recent months since he was released from hospital on Christmas Eve, and therefore he's not really seen any members of his family in recent weeks. He was flown down to Windsor to be with the Queen, who has started her Easter break there early. We don't know about the contact that the Prince of Wales at the moment has had with the Queen, but they haven't seen all that much of each other because, of course, he has been where he's been doing his job, and equally the Queen's been doing hers. It's also worth remembering, of course, that Prince Charles isn't the only royal to suffer from COVID-19. Prince Albert of Monaco revealed that he had tested positive last week. So when you're a royal and you're doing the rounds and you're meeting people from many different countries, there is a chance, of course, that you are going to pick it up, even if you've taken all of the measures that have been recommended. And as I say, in this case, not even really kept up that royal tradition of shaking hands.
All right, Camilla.
Thank
you very much
Thank you
indeed.
for
Anything else,
us.
give us a shout.
Thank you.